guys. I see everybody. Welcome to the room. I recognize your presence here. I'm just thinking, like, the times when energy is most focused, it's at certain times, you know, like any other time I would have like 10, 12 people in the room, but like there's just so much energy focused on this, you know. It's like everybody's so interested, like, you know, it's just become like entertainment, you know, our lives. But my whole thing, my whole purpose since I started this mission, which is like self-improvement and growing and all this, you know, it was that. It was focused on that. It was centered around that. So I always try to bring it back to a lesson, you know. I always try to bring it back to a lesson because that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn. I feel the energy that people are sending my way, but I feel like it's genuine, but it's misunderstanding, and it's a lot of fear and just low vibrational stuff, like people talking. I'm not even gonna look at, because I know people are gonna be commenting all kinds of stuff. So just listen, I guess, if you can do that. Going to Costa Rica, leaving the place I was at, came from Southern California. I got 3 brothers, Mexican American, but Mexican household, so we were brought up with Mexican culture. Very loving mother, father was there as well, just didn't know how to give love. It was never given to him, but it was a pretty, you know, decent upbringing, you know, compared to a lot of people, you know. So that's where I grew up. Eventually, I just came to a point in my life where I was seeking something. I was seeking help. Like, I was going through shit. You know, I was trying everything I knew within my own knowledge and understanding. And one day, my mom told me that my brother had changed. That she's like, I don't know what's up with your brother. Like, he's different now. Like, in a good way. Like, he doesn't get angry anymore. Like he changed. And I was like skeptical of meeting him because I was like scared. There was something in me that was scared to see somebody change. Like, everybody want to change, but people don't want to do what it takes to change. But that moment for me was like, that's when I knew that you could change. That it don't matter where you came from, what you've gone through, like who you are now. You could change. Like, you could become better. You could improve who you are as a person. Like, you really could. Like, that's some real shit. And that just kind of, like, it blew me away, because it's like, you rarely see people change, man. You rarely see people change. Like, everybody talks about change, but rarely do people ever do what it takes, like, do that inner work. You know, that's the toughest part for people. So I met up with my brother, and he just started telling me everything he had learned. He was like, yeah, man, we're not supposed to be eating this way. Like, everything is backwards. Like, the whole world is backwards. Like, they tell you to eat this and eat that, but that's wrong. Like, that's not the way we're supposed to be living. And he just blew my mind. I was never the same after that. I woke up to real life, like to the real reality that exists. Like, I didn't know there was something else. I always just was taught, like, this is how you eat, this is, your education, just don't question something. I mean, I always had like a bit of a rebellious spirit, but I didn't have any information that really I could apply to my life that would change who I am as a person. So when he talked to me after that day, I changed my diet completely. Like, I completely 180 changed my diet. Whatever I was eating, I stopped eating it. I had a bunch of food that I had in the fridge where I was living at. I just gave it away to the people. Like, if you guys want it, you guys can have it. I'm not eating that no more. A switch flipped in me, and I was on his mission now. Like, I want to find the truth, and I want to live the truth. And it's been a long time. It just feels like a long time because there's been so many experiences when I started looking at the world that way. It started opening up things differently for me. Like, I started seeing shit that I didn't see before, and I started looking at situations differently. It wasn't about being right or wrong anymore. It was just about trying to figure out what's the lesson in your life, and what's the lesson that you could learn from here that could empower you, that could make you a better person, that could help you grow and become who you're supposed to become. And so, it's still time went by, right? I was still learning. I learned a lot on the internet, on YouTube. This book called Conversations with God. It's a YouTube. They have a YouTube book on it, the audio book. But it's a really good book, and that's one of the first times that I became kind of aware of the whole "You Are God" concept. That was one of the books. It's a really good series if you ever have time on YouTube. But I started reading these kind of books and tapping into this knowledge, and it just felt right. It was like esoteric, like hidden shit that you really typically wouldn't find unless you're really looking for it. And even if you heard it, if you're not ready, it's just gonna pass you by. But at that time, I was just so hungry, man, listening to all these channelers like Abraham Hicks, some dude named Cryon, Bashar, like just all these people, like just wanting to know, like there's some other shit out here, like I gotta know everything. I want to know all the intricate details of everything, how to eat, like what's the best diet for humans, and what's our purpose here on earth. Like I was so hungry, man. I was so listening to podcasts and videos while I'm juicing, making my juices, making my salad, and at nighttime go to sleep with the podcast, like all day, every day. That's all I knew, and that's all I cared. And that was a very special time, because I was so in my awakening process. Like I was really embodying and living it. And I don't know, man, if you haven't been through that, it's hard for you to understand what I'm about to say today. Like, it's going to be hard for you to grasp the perspective. Alright, finally we're back. I just came inside the house. Hopefully, everybody didn't leave for... I'm gonna go, because it's not really the Wi-Fi, because it's got full bars on it. I just like being outside. I feel more open. So, alright, let me know if you guys can hear me, if it's working now. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, if you haven't been through that awakening and that coming to certain realizations, like what I'm gonna say and what I'm gonna share with you, might not make sense, so you might not be able to see it in that light. But so, you know, I was definitely searching, and I was definitely looking for knowledge anywhere, you know. And along the way, like, you're still becoming, like, you're still unraveling things about yourself and finding out who you are, and you know, trying to navigate in this world with that. So, I felt like when I found Carbonation, when I went and I was watching the videos online, there was definitely an aspect of me that was trying to find a place to go. Like, I definitely said this. I said, I wish there was a place where people could go and you could just focus on growing. You could just focus on your own self, and you could focus on bettering yourself and becoming better, and just, that's all you did, and you have people around you who want to do the same thing. So I'm like, damn, I got that shit popped up in my reality, you know. And so I got what I asked for, but I wasn't willing to deal with what came along. Like, I didn't really, like, you know how they say, be careful what you wish for. That's really what happened. Like, it popped up in my reality, and then I took it, you know. So I know people are gonna say they're already making assumptions, but so I did it. I went to Costa Rica, and you know, I just had such good intentions. Like I really wanted to work on myself and you know, just do that work and do the inner work and find a place in the world where I could fit in. Like, I didn't really feel like I fit in with the standard you know, American way of life, as far as, you know, just working a job or having a career. That was never really my thing. I always sought to think differently. I always felt like you know, I was always into, like, revolutionaries. I used to read books on, like, Che Guevara and the Cuban Revolution, and, you know, all these different movements around the world where people were, like, well, back then it was, people were dying, like, people were literally killing each other, and there was war, but there was, like, a identity, like, they wanted to empower people, and they felt like they were doing the right thing by, you know, taking up arms and fighting against the government. But I was always drawn to that struggle, that battle, that you know, righteous, like, do it right for the people type of battle, you know. That was always something that I resonated with, and I was always reading the books and, like, really attracted to that type of revolution. And I would always tell my brother, like, man, we need to go liberate Mexico. Like, we need to, like the government is fucking. So, like, I really wanted to do that. Like, I really wanted to be, like, a physically, you know, fighting. But, like, when I awoke, it just kind of flipped the switch, and it made me realize that, like, you don't need to kill nobody. Like, you don't need to do that. The only fight you have is within yourself. The only battle, the true battle that should exist, is with our own self, in our own mind. Like, there's nothing outside of you that you gotta physically kill that's not existing within your mind. That's where you really gotta do the change. So I realized, like, that's preposterous. Like, we just gotta do the inner work. Everybody has to do the inner work on themselves. And so I went to Costa Rica, right? And those were my intentions. And, you know, at first it just felt weird. It did feel weird. It was like I wasn't really used to being around a lot of black people like that. Like, I was the only Mexican there, you know, and practically, you know, everybody else was black, right? So it was like, this is what I got myself into, so I just went along with it. But I've always been into black culture. Like, I've always been into hip-hop culture. That was something that really changed my life too. Like, hip-hop culture, I really appreciated hip-hop culture. So when I got to Carbonation, it was like, it was cool, you know. I enjoyed it. There was things that I didn't agree with that I voiced early on, but it was just like, I saw what it was going to be there. Like, I saw that it was going to be, it wasn't gonna be what I wanted. It was gonna be what he wanted, and so I was just like, I'm not gonna resist that. I'm not gonna come here and try to change somebody else's reality, So that's what I did. I just kind of like sat there. I would moment like I stopped voicing my opinion because he basically just shut me down and didn't let me give my explanation on what I thought was right, So I stopped voicing my opinion. So, when it comes to the relationship with Serenity, like there was no like gravitational and everybody knows that, right? Like, everybody knows that. Like, I feel like people have seen it. Like, I always seen comments like she don't really love him, or they don't really like each other like that, So even when we first met, like, it wasn't nothing like that. I was too focused, anyways, on the mission, and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by looking at somebody, because she was with Nature Boy at the time, so I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by looking at her or anybody else that that I wasn't for me to be looking at. But like a couple days later, he came up to me and they came up and talked, and basically he said he felt some type of energy between us, and that we like she was interested. And I was like, nah, like, I'm not, like, I think she's beautiful, but, like, I wouldn't never do that. That's disrespectful. Like, it's not even, I wouldn't even try that. So, we kind of left it at that. And I feel like he never truly believed that. He always kind of believed that I wanted to be with her, but that was really not my intention personally. I could say, like, we never really gravitated towards that. We never had that connection, that vibe. Like, there was nothing natural about it. It always kind of felt forced. It was always forced. And it's kind of like an arranged marriage, really, when you look at it. Like in India, they do arranged marriages. That's what it's really like. It was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't forced, but it was suggested heavily that we get together and that we come together, and at the time everybody was, basically coupling up, so that was just the mindset at the time, and we ran with it. So, you know exactly what it is all the time. You know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You know exactly the actions you're supposed to take, but we prolong shit. We prolong certain decisions we have to make, or whatever we have to address, we prolong it because we don't want to deal with it. But the longer you put it off, the worse it gets. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse because it just be building up. It turns into this ugly thing that you don't want to look at because you already know it's bad, but the longer you don't look at it, the uglier it's going to get. So we kept trying to be together. We would break up and then come together, but it was never like a solid thing where we have an idea about love, right? Like, people fall in love and they're instantly, it's a match and stuff, but it was nothing like that. It was more like of a purpose, like, oh, you guys come together because we're in the same group and we have the same mission, and so it makes sense, So I think that initially should have been a red flag. We should have not allowed that to continue, but many times we had many opportunities, man. We had many opportunities, but we kept skipping it. We kept prolonging it, or we kept coming back together for whatever reasons. Maybe insecurities, didn't want to be alone, or just having somebody to be with when you're in a nice environment, a dope situation. It just feels like you want to have somebody close to you, So when she got pregnant, it was like, oh shit, like, this is real now. Like, it's becoming real. And at the time, Carbonation was teaching about like if you're holy, like, you don't have children, basically. Like, if you're pure, like, you won't be able to have children and get pregnant. But then the conversation switched up, of course, when Eliana got pregnant. So I felt like there was some bias there, for sure. I would be like, I definitely Um, so we went along. She went along with her pregnancy and stuff, and it's like I'm just so thankful. Like Zen is such a pure, innocent, like little baby. Of course, I mean, all children are innocent, but he's just so pure. When I look into his eyes and when I see his actions, I just feel like, he's just so pure. Like he hasn't been tainted with any of the shit that a lot of us have been tainted with. So definitely, like he has my heart, and I want what's best for him, and I want to see him thrive and certain people resonate with certain things. Like you might not understand it or you might not get it because it's not for you, but you can't take that away from somebody else who it is for. So it's like I can't and I won't stop anybody's growth and progress and happiness ultimately, because who am I to do that? Like I'm not a tyrant, I'm not a fucking dictator, I'm not that, because I wouldn't want nobody to stop that from myself, so why should I go somewhere else and try to stop that from somebody else? And at the end of the day, it's just about growth, man. It's about growth. We're trying to grow. Like if you ain't on this mission where like you looking at yourself like there's definitely shit that I did, it's like I'm responsible for this. Like I'm no victim. Like I knew what I was doing. Like I'm fully aware and conscious, but I'm gonna take this L. Like this is kind of like an L for me. Like but it's an L is really like a lesson. It's still a lesson to grow from. You everything in your life and your reality is to grow from. We so easily fall into the victim mentality where we're trying to blame people and blame somebody else and point the finger, but it's you, man. You do it to yourself. You are where you are right now because of yourself. It ain't nobody else's fault. If you don't have the shit you want to have, it's because of you. It ain't because of nobody. If you're in a situation where you got children from somebody that you don't really fuck with like that, it's because of you. It's all because of you. I can't point the finger at nobody else. Like I'm the one that did it. It don't matter if somebody suggested it heavily. Okay, fucking hold your ground. Like you don't want that. Like do what you want to do. Don't let people influence you. Don't let people suggest shit and you just go along with it because you being a follower. No, like I made the choices I made and I'm reaping the repercussions of that shit. Now, like I'm experiencing that. What I gotta experience is a fucking struggle, it's a challenge, because it's a challenging situation. Okay, like when children come involved, it's a whole different thing. Like I feel like it's not about you anymore, it's about the children, right? Like you want to do what's best for the child, and at the same time you want to do what's best for you too. And you want to make sure you're the healthiest and you're the best and you're the happiest and you're the most on point for your child could see you and he could emulate those characteristics himself and just thrive in whatever he does and just know who he is. If you ain't that, it don't matter where you at. It don't matter if your parents are together. If you ain't that, he's gonna just see and replicate and mirror whatever he sees in his reality. So if I put him in a situation where he's in a household where people are not getting along, where they're just not vibing together, there's this constant tension in the air, and the people are heading two different directions, that's a volatile situation for that child. That child is going to be lost, he's going to be confused, he's not going to grow up and develop as well as he could if he was in a home where the parents got along, where the parents were just on the same page, headed towards the same direction. So that's what you gotta understand. As much as I would love to, that everything would have been perfect, that everything would have worked out. I mean, everything is working out the way it's supposed to, but we have an idea of relationships where it's like the people love each other and it's just perfect, and there's all romance and but it just ain't that, man. This is different. This is a learning relationship. This is the type of relationship that you really grow from, and that makes you grow. Like, you don't have no choice. You gotta grow because it puts you in situations that you have no other choice but to grow. So, I know everybody's been messaging me like, are you gonna keep Zen? Are you gonna keep your son? And it's just like, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know what is going to happen. But I know that everything's gonna work out. And I know that everything's gonna be fine. And in the end, you know, everything's gonna align the way it's supposed to. And I know you guys don't see it now. I know it just seems like it's so simple, right? Like, but you're not seeing what I'm seeing. And that's all I can say. You don't see life through the spiritual lenses. You see life through right, and he's wrong, and that person hurt me, and he's doing this harm. I don't see life like that. I don't see life like that. Life to me, the purpose of life is to grow. The purpose of life is to come here and do the shit that you don't want to do. The reason that people want me to do the shit that I want to do because it makes them feel comfortable about their life. If I do what they tell me to do, then they're in a position where they're doing the right thing, but they know damn well they're not. They know, most people know that they're damn well not living the life they're supposed to be living. You're not free. You're not free. You're just prolonging. Like I've been doing this whole time. You're prolonging what you know you're supposed to be doing. You're prolonging it, and the longer you prolong it, the worse it'll get, and the harder it'll get, and the more repercussions you'll have from that, from not doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. It don't matter if you're supposed to be teaching or if you're supposed to be, you know, growing food, being a farmer. I don't care. It's just about what resonates with your soul, and you can't take that away from somebody, and you can't ask me to take that away from somebody. So, you know, I don't expect people to understand what will happen, you know, because they already don't understand what's happening. They don't understand life, so why would they understand life a month from now, 2 months from now? It's not about lessons for people. They're just trying to be the victim. They're just trying to pick who they could, you know, throw in jail, pick who they could criticize, but they never, ever point the finger at themselves. They never look in the mirror and be like, wait, maybe all of that shit is just me. Maybe all of that shit is just how I feel about myself. If I'm hating on somebody, maybe it is because that's how I feel about myself. Maybe there's shit that I need to work on. And that's definitely true for myself. There's so much confusion in me. There's so much insecurities. There's just who I see myself to be and who I really am at this very moment isn't the same person. I believe that I am more than I actually am at this moment. And the problem with that is that you can never become who you want to become or who you're supposed to become if you think you're already there. If you think that you already made it, then you're never going to make it. And so I have to realize that, man. I have to come to terms with that. And that's one of the hardest things for me, is just having that realization, because I have this prideful way about me that I want to feel a certain way about myself, and I want people to see me a certain way, and I want people to perceive me in a certain light. But I ain't there yet, man. I ain't there yet. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring myself out. And so, you know, y'all can say whatever you want, man. If you feel that maybe what's in me is in you too. Maybe you believe more of yourself than you are right now. Maybe you feel like you got it figured out. Maybe you feel like you figured out life, right? And you're trying to tell me, like, bro, you stupid. Like, oh my God, like, you just another pawn. Like, you just, like, wow, like, you're so weak. Or he's got you brainwashed. Or you're still under the program. Like, you could tell me all that stuff. Like, you could say it to me, but at the end of the day, what's in me is in you too. And until you're ready to come to terms with that, you're not gonna understand life, and you're not gonna see situations like as a catalyst to make you grow. Like, damn, I'm on camera, man. I was not this person 2-3 years ago. I was doing pre-records and I was talking with the soft boys, and like, I changed. If I'm weak, then you're weak too. Because whatever you see in me is in you. That's the reason you can see it so clearly, man. When something bugs the shit out of you, it's because you are that too. You weak, bro. You weak. You seeing it in me because you weak. But personally, I don't have any intentions to go back to Carbonation. I just don't feel like that's where I'm supposed to be at. And I'm okay with that, you know. I'm at peace with where I'm at right now. My only prerogative right now is to stay focused and not lose the mission that I woke up to, not lose becoming a better person, not lose growing, you know. And I feel so bad for people who ain't on that mission, man, because it's like, why are you even here? Why are you even listening to this? Without that, like, a lecture, like you said, I'm going to a Carbonation lecture. No, it's a self-improvement lecture. It's a life lecture. It's a spirituality lecture. This shit is everywhere. Bro, have you not been on the internet? Have you not seen everybody talking about this kind of shit? Like, you're so close-minded, you don't realize what this is, bro. Like, everybody needs to go through this road to improve humanity. You don't get it. You're just so focused on him, on Nature Boy, Carbonation. You're so focused you don't fucking get it, bro. Like, there's so much information on the internet, bro. I just gave you a couple of resources without even trying, and you don't even check this shit out because you're so focused. You're so focused on this situation. You're like, anything that they talk people, because this is something that the whole world has got to awaken to. Like, unless we look at ourselves, how are we supposed to heal? How are we like, you go Teal Swan, Infinite Waters, Esther Hicks, Bashar, you got some dude named Cryon, you got Nature Boy, you got all these people, like, they're just symbols in your reality trying to show you, like, bro, look at yourself. Like, you're not looking at yourself. You're ignoring your own issues, your own things that's wrong with you, and you're bypassing that and just choosing to look at the things that you perceive to be wrong in other people as an excuse to not work on yourself. You don't see that shit? You don't see that shit? It's so clear. It's so fucking clear, man. Like, I'm just thankful I can see it, man. I pray that one day you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear what I'm talking about. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be perfect. This is the game we signed up for, man. This is the game. Like, this is what it's about, man. If you ain't doing this kind of work, you can eat whatever you want, man. You can live wherever you want. It's irrelevant. If this ain't where your sights are set to be so vulnerable in front of the world, to not care, because it's not about that. It's about the mission. It's about bettering yourself. Because when you better yourself, you better humanity. When you heal yourself, you heal the world. You heal your family. You heal. That's within you. You are that. You came out of that. It's one and the same. There's no separation. And I'm just so thankful that I could see it. Like, even as far as I try to stray away from the path, try to ignore it, I always come back to it. Because it's who I am. It's what I was born for. Like, this is why I'm here. Like, I'm here to change myself. That's how I change the world. And, you know, you could judge me for whatever. I'm not flawless. Like I came with many flaws. I'm more flawed than a lot of people. But like I'm still trying. Like I'm still gonna do the work regardless. It don't matter what people think about me, because I know it's irrelevant. Most people are just watching just to watch for entertainment. Like, I'm doing this for myself, for my son, for the world. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, and if you're not doing that, then you're the problem. That's the problem. Us not doing what we know we're supposed to be doing. If everybody was doing exactly what they know they're supposed to be doing, the world wouldn't have any problems. There would be no issues. But because we don't respond to that voice, to the call of righteousness, like of doing what we know we're supposed to be doing, that's the reason why there's so much unbalance, you know. It doesn't take, you don't have to change the world. All you gotta do is change yourself. That's the only way you can ever change the world. Anybody tell you anything different, then they're lying. So, yeah, that's my spiel, man. I had to give it to y'all. But that's how I feel. That's basically what's happening. It's just breaking down, man. Just to break down, to build yourself back up even stronger. Like, I'm weak. I'm not who I think I am. And the only way I could ever even try to get there is if I realize that I'm not that. So, man, beautiful day. I hope you got a little something from this, man. I hope I inspired, like, a shift in perspective. Maybe one day you'll wake up. Maybe one day you'll wake up to that same mission, that same realization that I woke up to once, and it'll just change your life. That's facts. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's just what I want for y'all. If you thanks for listening. Alright, stay balanced. Hold up. How do I do that? Rambo! With the ammo! What's going on, my brother? Man, peace, reflection. Yeah, just reflecting.
You always was good at dying. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got so much to talk about.
How you been?
You know how I've been. The same journey, the same path, the same knowledge, the same thing. I haven't broken it. I haven't left it. Still on the same. And somebody sent me your live. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rambo's live. Let's talk. So Serenity's coming back. But she never left. But I want to talk about you. I want to talk about you and eating meat and getting off the path and why you went there, man. Why you didn't just keep the knowledge? Why did you continue to proclaim the kingdom? What flaws did you see in the knowledge? I want to talk about them.
Well, I just feel like, to me, the most important thing is the inner work. I feel like there's so much separation and so much debate about everything else, but unless you're doing the inner work and changing yourself, all of that is irrelevant to me. And I'm okay with having differences of an opinion with people even within the community that I'm a part of. Like, I don't feel like we have to agree on everything. But if you, to me, if you're not doing the work, of course, that's the most important thing, on the inner work on yourself. That's just how I feel about it. I don't see anything wrong. I just feel like with the whole veganism, like I'm not bound by that. Like I don't feel like I have to do that. Like I just feel like it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just veganism.
What makes you feel like it's bigger than veganism?
Well, doesn't resonate with me. Like I feel like we can only do that because we got modern day civilization, and we have we're allowed to do. We have like the luxury to do that because we live in a world that allows that, but there's repercussions to it. Like I feel like if we were in our natural environment, living really like in our natural environment, like it wouldn't be about plants versus animals. We'd just be so in tune with everything, and we would take from the environment whatever we saw fit at that time, you know.
So let me ask you this. Is there enough meat on this planet for everyone?
I mean, it depends how you're eating the meat. Like, I don't promote, like, you eat meat every single day, but I believe that if you space it out enough, like, it doesn't have the same detriments. Like, people, when they think about a meat eater, they think about somebody who's eating meat 24/7 every single meal. Not only that, but it's processed McDonald's type of meat. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the Hawaiians here. Like, they fish their fish from the ocean, just the way they've been doing it for thousands of years. Like, but the ones who choose to eat the Spam and the McDonald's and all that shit, that's the ones that have issues. But like, every indigenous culture has thrived eating animal products, but they had a different perspective and awareness of the world than we do today. That's what really changed my perspective on food.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you have an option, which you said we have the convenience of today, and have the option not to harm an animal and still live on this planet without harming another animal, why wouldn't you take that option?
Well, I don't believe that that's true. I just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're not harming animals. I believe that, and I know that when we allow somebody else to grow our food, we get disconnected from that process. We don't know what it's like. So there is things dying for the vegan foods because they got to tear down the ecosystem, like the Amazon rainforest. It's not just for cattle farming, it's for all types of farming, corn, soy, all of that shit. What I'm saying is, unless we connect back and do that shit ourselves, we're never gonna.
Come on. You know
we're gonna make somebody else do the dirty work.
You know what I'm talking about.
We're making somebody else do the dirty work. Like,
it's not about somebody else, Rambo. Rambo, it's not somebody. It's not about somebody else. Everything is you. This is your world. You forget that. You always forget that this is a holographic universe and that you are perceiving life through these five senses. That everything is you and you have a choice. So the other people that you're saying is doing it for you is basically you. You have a choice what you are consumed. Point blank period. You're talking to yourself right now.
Yeah.
So let's always keep in mind that life is holographic. So I'm saying this to you. This is what I'm saying to you. If you don't have to kill an animal, take it out of its environment and kill it. Whether you go fishing, if you can eat in a way that you don't have to harm an animal or a living entity, as far as the animal, we know that plants are living. That's fine. But if you don't have to live that way to harm anything, when you eat rice and beans and potatoes and things of these such things like this, like the B6 diet, right? Well, the reason why I did the B6 diet is because even if we were living in our natural environment, we can grow potatoes, rice, beans, and the things that we eat within the B6 diet, herbs, all of those things, you can still sustain your life without harming anything else truly.
I mean, I don't believe that. I feel like if you're shopping at a grocery store, like, you really not gonna know what it took to get that food to your plate. And so
wait, hold on. You saying that? Wait, hold on. You saying that we live in the tropics, bro? We know people grow rice in the mountains. We know people grow certain foods. We seen this with our own eyes living in the tropics, bro. We seen the farming. We live by the farm. These are humans that farming, bro. It's not rocket science to grow rice, bro. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science.
What you haven't seen is the pesticides that they use. You don't really. That's what I'm saying. Unless you really do it for yourself, you're not gonna know what is really
right.
behind it.
What I'm saying to you is that whatever the case is, as far as that is, you're talking about eating meat versus farming as far as potatoes and rice, bro.
I don't see the world that way anymore. I see everything as valuable. Everything is energy. Everything has its place. I don't feel like a sentimental, ethical attachment to eating meat, because nothing in nature does that. The lion don't feel no type of way. Like, I'm out here trying to survive. Like, if you really, like, show me a civilization that's been vegan that survived on its own without using other people, without using the only reason veganism exists is because civilization exists. Civilization exists because slavery existed. And slavery, I mean, if you want to go down that route, but that's the trajectory that things take. You need a bunch of manpower to build cities, and cities allow the transportation of goods, of produce. Most of the people eating food, like...
Bro, that's not correct. Bro, that's not correct, bro.
No, that is correct.
That's not correct. Listen, number one, we don't even have to eat. In our most highest form, we don't even really have to eat. That's why we eat once a day. So when you talk about the African mind, the original indigenous people, we, like the gods, they don't even really need to eat. That's a fact. So with that being stated, it's like, like,
I know that better than anybody.
All right, so you should know that veganism is not a form of civilization. Veganism is a form of oneself spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? So it's veganism for us is for spiritual reasons, not because we're surviving. We're not surviving, we're thriving. It's a difference. We choose consciously not to. Now, like I told you, if I had to eat meat to survive on some shit, then it'd be different. But even then, we can go 40 days without eating. We can go days and days without eating, and you know that.
Yeah.
So as far as eating meat, I get it when you're talking about the indigenous tribes, because and what we had access to in indigenous times also is another thing. And so when you talk about indigenous tribes being vegan, You have to understand that they weren't as advanced mentally as we are. We are in the age of information, the age of consciousness. We're talking about indigenous tribes. These indigenous tribes wasn't around during the age of golden age. We're in a golden age. And in a golden age, we are more illuminated mentally to understand that to reach our full capacity, we cannot eat animal meat because it's no good for our soul. And our capacity of opening up our DNA and being able to tap into our godhood. You cannot eat low vibrational entities as an animal. Or you cannot eat these things and be spiritual awoken. You know that you have to have a light body and be eating more light.
The reason that people
from the
tap into the density of food, and I experienced this when I was fast. Like the less food you have in you, to me, it's not about meat or plants. It's about the less food you have in you. The less food you have in you, the more you focus in on yourself, because you don't got nothing else to do. Most people use food as a distraction. So if you take that away from most people, it'll force them to like look within or really look at themselves and reflect back on who they are. But it's just about density to me. Like, I don't know, I just see everything as sacred. It don't matter if you pluck a fruit or a plant from the ground or rice or an animal. Like, it's a circle of life, and everything is sacred. We came here for this experience, and life needs life to exist. Like, death allows life to exist.
Right. What I'm saying to you is that if we were living in those times and space where we had to kill an animal with our hands and do it like that, as far as humanity, even if somebody does it for you, right, like today. But we're not living in that time and space, and so your body is not, or your DNA is not fit for the time and space that you're talking about. You're talking about an indigenous time where we had to eat fish or meat or something like that. What I'm telling you, as long as you have the option to eat from the earth rather than eat an animal, you should go for that, especially in the age of information where you need to have a light body, where you need to be connected to what you eat, need to be connected more to light as far as photosynthesis, as far as being connected closer to the earth. You should not want anything inhibiting your path towards a more light body. You should be filling yourself with more light, more than
I get what you're saying.
In this age and time, as far as the time and place that we're in, this is not the time to be eating meat. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not the time for it. And that's all I'm saying to you. This is the time to be getting in tune with the universe so that you can be receiving a more light body, a more light mind, filling yourself with light, more fruit, more veggies. This is the time and place we're in. We have options. But when you talk about like the indigenous tribes that you talk about, they were living in different ages. This is a different age we're in. And we're given an option. You know what I'm saying? If you have the option, you should always eat stuff that fills you with more light so that you can get close. When you eat an animal, you're eating what the animal ate. And it's in the way. And if you're given the option, why not eat what the animal eats? The animal's eating more of a clean, light diet as far as consciousness or being connected to what the one, the source, the all, than you are. So why eat the animal to get it? Now, at times, we had to eat the animal to get it. But if in this time you have the option to eat directly from the earth, why not do it?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, if the problem is Babylon, and Babylon allows us to have these luxuries, why not go to the place and the time where we don't need Babylon? That means we don't need veganism, we don't need Babylon. We go trace all the way back where we completely self-sufficient off the land. Isn't that the goal? If we're trying to go against Babylon, should we? No,
that's not the goal. No. We supposed to be utilizing Babylon against itself as it's utilizing nature against itself. We have to reverse the effect. It's not about being extreme, Rambo. We're not off grid. We're mid-grid. So this is where we can be of service. There's going to be a time where Babylon no longer exists, and we're going to have to do that. But right now, we're utilizing Babylon against itself as Babylon is utilizing nature against itself. So you have to do a reverse effect to be of service to wake the elite up.
to this man. You gonna
we're
sit there and
utilizing
talk to
Babylon
him?
against itself. That's what we do.
What's
We take
next?
back
You
what
gonna
is
follow
ours,
behind
our
her
rights
because you
from
love her?
Babylon. You utilize
She's
it.
taking
We
your
must
kid
feed off of
with
it
her.
as it's feeding off of us.
Both of y'all.
That's just the goal. That's how we win the
kids.
game, and this is how you sustain yourself until Babylon falls, and then the universe provides us with the resources to do the thing that you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? That time will come. That time will come. What you say?
He destroyed.
No, I was just saying.
families.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He destroyed.
I guess for me, like I just like you said, like you can't just switch somebody like a species diet, like. Some dude named Weston A. Price. He basically went and studied indigenous cultures, and he saw that when they switched to a modern diet, their jaw lines changed. Like their teeth. The reason we get our wisdom teeth taken out is because our jaws ain't fully formed. And he saw that there was a direct correlation with eating animal foods and healthy animal foods from the earth, and that helped them develop their bone structure. So what I'm saying is there's repercussions to drastically changing a diet from one generation to the next if we've been getting certain nutrition from it from thousands of years. Like
Rambo
a cow,
his child.